the Copacabana. All right, we're live on YouTube. I gave you that little pause there so you can edit us out. Or what? Or that's just the pause should go just before the intro to the
Yes,
podcast.
just before the
That's
intro.
what
Yep.
it is. That's what Keith and I keep messing it up. But we are live on.
Did I need to go back and cut a bunch of that one out you did the other day? Is there a bunch of dead spot in that
No,
one?
I
Did you
I
cut
did
it?
it. I
Okay.
did it.
Because
Yeah,
I just listened on the Patreon feed. I didn't actually listen to it on the YouTube. So,
yeah. I went ahead and did it anyway. So
okay. Perfect.
let's go. I'm just gonna share this to our the old Facebook page in case Grandpa James or any of the two or three people who may be still on Facebook. I don't know, man. I'm starting to. I don't know. Facebook is dying, dude. I really feel it. You're still on Twitter, which is
Yeah, I mean,
interesting.
I don't ever post anything, but there's still enough stuff, like especially for sports news. There's a bunch of stuff. All those sports reporters are still on there, so that's basically all I'm on there for is
Yeah.
to pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah, I dig it. I dig it.
I think the only things I've actually posted on there in over the last year or two are just things like, "Hey, we're podcasting about Duster," or "Hey, we're podcasting about whatever else we've done." I mean, I don't think I've actually done any actual engagement with anybody for a long time on there.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of sad, man, because back in the day, even just, 5, 10 years ago, had we been going live, we'd get at least 10, 20 people. You know what I'm saying? There was just more of a, I don't know. I feel like also people our age are a little bit less on everything, which
Well,
is fine with me.
I think some of it too, it's always less in the summertime, I think.
Yeah.
Because I
But
mean,
the,
who the hell
but
wants to sit on social media all day in the middle? I mean, granted, I will now because it's 90 degrees here again for like the eighth day in a row. So I don't really
yeah,
want to go hang out outside when it's this hot and humid and feels like Florida weather almost. But
yuck.
yeah, fun stuff.
All right, Ando.
You ready to rock and roll?
I just quickly realized that eating a nut while on a podcast is probably not the best thing because like the little pieces get stuck in your mouth. I'm gonna push the mic away a little.
There was one time before we went video on live where I used to I chew sunflower seeds a lot of the time. It's like a nice snack for me, and I'll every once in a while before we were on video, I would forget that I was chewing sunflower seeds, and I could listen back, and I don't think anybody ever noticed, but you could hear little. And I'm like, I better stop doing that. So
Well, remember that time that I can't remember, but we were recording a bunch of pods a couple months ago and I never got a chance to eat. And I think I was eating a little bit, and Anthony was like, "Don't ever eat on a podcast again."
yeah,
I only podcast for Anthony, really. That's like the only person I'm really podcasting for.
and he usually is listening.
He is. I love him.
I know he's a loyal listener to the film list or the film list. He's messaged me a couple times about stuff on that. So
All right, I think I have all the peanuts out of my mouth.
this is making great YouTube content.
Great. All right, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's
Let's
go.
do this. Here, I'll make a quick pause so we can cut all that other shit. And here we go. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Daily DVR. It's Wednesday. It is July 23rd, 2025. And Andy and I are here just to chat about, I don't know what, TV, film, the world, all that kind of stuff. And if you love listening to us, you can check out all of our pods at dvrpodcast.com and you become a patron like Ari at patreon.com/DVR. We are independent podcasters, so we appreciate it. And if you're watching us on YouTube, give us a like. We're almost at 100 subscribers, which is pretty good for just coming on and doing the YouTube. Not bad. People find us. We're not doing too much
Yeah,
marketing these days,
we're
Ando.
at 98 right now. So
Who will be one? Whoever. Okay, this is what we're gonna say. Whoever is the 100th subscriber to our YouTube channel will get a very special surprise, which is going to be a shout out on the podcast. I just gave away the surprise because I didn't want you to think it was something big, and I don't want anyone to get disappointed.
That's priceless. That's a priceless reward.
Andy, what the hell are we talking about today? We decided to do a podcast. Last week we talked about everything under the sun for about 4.5 hours.
Yeah, we had a whole list of things, and this time we have
Yeah,
zero things on the list. So
I don't think we even have a list. Well, I do want to mention, let's start out with something actually news related.
sure.
We were just talking about this on our famous text chain, which if you become $1 million,
Infamous.
infamous,
Infamous text chain.
both,
Yes.
both. If you become $1 million Patreon supporter, you can join the text chain and get access to previous texts, which include quite a bit of talk on my part about Minka Kelly, but we'll get to that later. Today we did talk
More than
about
a
this.
little
This
bit. Yeah.
more than a little bit. This is news which I really do want to talk about, and it extends to all of this shit we talk about, which is football and television. Even though, as everyone knows, football is the number one television program that has ever existed in the history of television, is NFL football. But today it was announced that ESPN is seeking, meaning they've taught, I mean, come on, is seeking to purchase, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
The
usually when
Red,
that's announced, it means within a month or two, it's a done deal.
yeah, Red Zone and NFL Network. So ESPN, Disney will run the NFL Network and the Red Zone. Now, for those who are fans of the NFL Network, we do know that about 2 years, a year, 2 years ago, they cut all of their staff, they cut all their shows, and they went from trying to a little bit compete with ESPN, FS1, and like they tried to compete with their daily football show and all that to just showing replays of old games, really.
My guess is that they've been looking to sell way back then because that's a typical business thing. Like that's what Paramount is doing right now. Usually when things get ready to sell, they strip down all these costs to make the prop up their profit statements. I bet that back when they did that, that was when they started shopping it around and it just wasn't public yet.
Yeah. Oh, I think so too. And ESPN has such a strange and interesting relationship with the NFL, with all of the sports
Hmm.
um, uh, leagues, and also with its parent company, Disney, which is, it's kind of, when you look at Disney itself, ESPN is the one thing that kind of exists outside of the realm of Disney. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yes, they have their crossovers, and ABC and ESPN crossover, but when you think about even the politics, and I don't mean government politics, I mean
Yeah.
internal politics
Hmm.
of the corporation and such, really ESPN kind of does its own thing. And even when you look at ESPN, you see the type of stuff they comment on. Their shift is a little bit different from the rest of the Disney portfolio.
Yeah, you don't even see things like ESPN in the background when in a Marvel movie or something where they could easily put an ESPN Sports Center on playing in Tony Stark's apartment or something. You don't ever see that kind of crossover. I don't think they have any presence in the parks, the theme parks or any of that. So I think you're right. I think it
No,
is pretty separate.
it is. It's very, and that's why I think people have always theorized or you know talked about them selling ESPN
Hmm.
to someone, and or it splitting off and becoming its own company.
Actually, the
Um,
most integrated it probably is now you can see it on the Disney Plus app. When you log on, ESPN is on the Disney Plus app, which that's otherwise there's hardly any ever tie-ins that I can think of.
but that I think is to get you hooked because
Hmm.
when they launch their own
Yeah.
which is not even ESPN Plus. It's going to be this new over the new streaming service.
ESPN Max, and then it will just change to just
Yeah.
Max, and then it will be we're back ESPN Max.
I'm not sure that I find it. Yeah, and I'm not. We've talked a little bit about this on Around the Couch, but on this show too. How much ESPN, how much sports TV talk do you watch as opposed to sports itself?
15, 20 years ago, a lot. Now, nothing. Unless it's the sports itself. I will occasionally watch like a sports center or something after a big game if it was a big game and I want to see the highlights again or something and it happens to be on, I won't change the channel, but I won't ever like back in the heyday of Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann and Rich Eisen all on ESPN. Back then, I would listen to sports talk a lot more, or the beginning of like when PTI first started and some of those shows. Then I did, but I bet it's been 15 years at least since I've watched
Yeah.
any of that. Like First Take, none of that bullshit. Do I? I don't watch any of that.
But you watch McAfee or what's his name? McAfee.
McAfee sometimes it's not an appointment thing. It'll just happen.
Okay.
Usually it's like if I see there's a guest on there that I want to listen
Right,
to,
right.
or if I'm working, a lot of times a lot of my stuff is driving and say there's a big news story, a big sports story or something.
Yeah.
Like the NFL draft is coming up today or something, and it's live, so I'll have it
Right,
on
right.
sometimes then. But I don't normally make a point to listen, watch McAfee or anybody else like that, or
Yeah.
Dan Patrick or Rich Eisen still have shows too. That I actually still like Rich Eisen. I think he's still pretty quality because he's actually more old school, stays the kind of that less thrills and more interview style. But otherwise,
Yeah.
hardly any of that do
Well,
I
you
watch anymore.
feel I think that since McAfee was a YouTube show, they
Hmm.
are like radio guys. So it's like you're watching a radio broadcast where McAfee does a little bit more to make you feel, it just feels more like a YouTube show and less like guys doing a radio show with a camera in
Well,
the room.
it feels more like when we do around the couch, it feels more like
Yeah.
that type of atmosphere, which
Yes.
it's easy to check in and check out. You don't have
Yeah.
it's whatever. So it's
Yeah.
but even then, if that show was gone tomorrow, I wouldn't be heartbroken or something. It's not like, oh damn, I'm really gonna miss it. I'd be like, oh well, there'll be something else I can find. So it's not a I don't know. What do you think? You don't watch any of that stuff really, do you?
No, on a day like yesterday and today when training camp is opening, I might like today I actually did tune into McAfee, NFL Today. I kind of went around the horn, not the show around the horn, but around the
Yeah.
horn
Oh
of
God, yeah. Well, and that's one thing about McAfee that I like is I like when he interviews players, current players, because he seems to be able to get more out of the current player than just the we tried
Yeah,
really hard and we took it one play at a time.
he does.
He gets a little bit more out of them than most guys do. So
Yeah, I find him to be pretty annoying. He reminds me of just some dudes that I went to college with that you would like hang out with them for like 10 or 15 minutes.
yeah,
And then you would be like, oh, Jesus fucking
a
Christ,
little
does
bit
this
goes a
guy ever
long
give it
ways.
up? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like he's always doing an act. Like
Hmm.
it never stops. He's just, his whole personality is a shtick, you know what I mean? But he does have a side to him that I find, because he was a punter, which is kind of funny.
Hmm.
And he's so big now too, and that's kind of
Yeah.
funny too. It's like you were a punter, dude. Like what the fuck, you know? And when he's talking to these other guys, from what I've watched, a lot of them do like to remind him that he was a punter,
Yeah.
and I think that that's kind of cute. So that he doesn't. Well, I should say he doesn't have a problem being self-effacing.
Yeah.
So I like that about him. But I do. It's a little bit too much for me after. Actually, the person I listen to most is I listen to the Adam Schefter
Oh,
podcast,
yep.
and the guy from Ty Schmidt is the co-host
Yeah.
now
From
of, because they're
McAfee.
trying to ESPN,
Yeah.
put it
Synergy, baby.
together. Yeah, and Ty Schmidt is, I like him, but he tends to, like, Adam Schefter will say like, this guy signed here, and he'll be like, yeah, he signed that contract, Shefty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't seem to really add a different perspective. He just agrees with him a
Yeah.
lot, which is I think because he's used to doing that maybe on McAfee. But anyway, to get back to the point, Ando, um, ESPN is going to take over Red Zone and they're going to take over the NFL network. Neither of us are big ESPN fans. I hardly watch it at all.
Yeah, if it's not a game, I won't
Yeah.
watch. I say I don't watch it unless it's a game.
So I'm worried. My initial reaction to hearing them taking over the NFL network, which I love now because I liked it when they got rid of all the shows,
Yeah.
because now they just replay old games and what are those documentaries? The
Um.
Life, it's called the
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember what they're
like
called, but
a
yeah.
football life,
Hmm.
a football
Well,
life.
now it's actually about the game, and my fear is
Yeah,
ESPN's going to turn it into their stupid
exactly.
sports entertainment. Is basically what like WWE claims to be sports entertainment. That's what ESPN has become. They become sports
It
entertainment.
is. Yeah.
All this stupid made up debates and stuff to get people's blood boiling for no reason, and Stephen A. Smith feuding with LeBron James. I mean, why do we? That's not sports. I want to see sports and sports analysis. I don't need to hear some stupid made up gossip or that's what I'm afraid of that they're going to do. I'm just
I
not
agree.
happy.
I agree. Yeah, they're gonna stop replaying old games on NFL Network. Or they will severely edit them and call them classics.
Yeah.
Like I used to like, oh, when I thought, oh, ESPN's running old games, and then they cut them, they
Yeah.
eat them
Rip it to
up, they
shreds.
yeah,
Yep.
just play the fucking game. You know what I would love to see? Old games from the 80s and 90s with the commercials.
Oh,
I,
that
I
would be
know that's
cool.
hard to do because national and local and there's
Uh-huh.
insertion, but you could do something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like you could do that. So I think it would be fun and you could get advertisers into it. It's just there ESPN has a tendency for me to kind of ruin everything. They're just not I don't know how any other way to put it. They just
Yeah.
don't, and it's not even like I can't even put my finger on it, right?
Well,
Be,
I guess I'd maybe be okay with it if like they do similar to what they do with McAfee, where they just license it from the NFL and the NFL would still produce the show and everything. And if they
But
would,
that's why they're selling it though, Andy,
yeah,
because they
because
don't
they don't
want to
want
do
to.
that
Yeah.
anymore.
Because
You
well,
know what I mean?
it's the same thing that worries me. Like the one pregame or postgame show I watch is Inside the NBA, which is now going to ESPN, and they claim they're going to be hands off with that with
Oh
Barkley and
yeah,
those
I
guys. And I'm
know.
like, there's no way they're going to be hands off.
No.
They're going to put Stephen A. Smith on there or somebody else that's going to annoy the shit out of me, and I'm not going to want to watch. They're going
Yeah.
to ruin the only good, the really only great postgame show there is.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And Red Zone to me actually got I was depressed that Andrew Siciliano
Hmm.
left, the big ear dude,
Yep.
because he is the best ever. And I know a lot of people didn't know him because he was direct TV only.
Yeah.
So the other guy doing it is the guy who's now doing it for doing Red Zone for YouTube TV.
Hmm.
He's okay. He's good at his job. He's okay. The one thing that they've been doing less of, which we've talked about before, is there's never a reason for me on Red Zone for them to have more than maybe two games on at once, but mostly I like it when it's one game because in my mind, red zone is already the additional box.
Yeah.
So when you add another box to it, it makes it so tiny. It's like, I want you to stay on one game and just hop to when something fun is
That's,
happening.
when it's great is when I have it on my projector in the basement, which is 8 feet by 12 feet wide, and then each quad box is like a 4 foot
That's
screen, so
all.
it's
Yeah.
it's perfect for that. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
It's
And I mean,
it's
I
usually
do
a
have,
supplemental
yeah,
thing. It should be.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. It disregards the original intent of it, and I think ESPN will make it even worse. Like they'll
Hmm.
make it into like the Manning cast, and they'll have like an interview in the corner. And you're right, they'll have like Stephen A as a host, or the McAfee crew does Red Zone this week,
Yep.
and then you'll just be seeing their faces the whole time instead of seeing and it'll just be a way to sell ads and to do
And
cross
that was the other thing I was going
promotion.
to say. The cool thing about Red Zone is the ads are what, once an hour, twice an hour. Not very often does it go to
Yes, yeah,
commercial.
yeah.
And with ESPN, you know damn well it's going to be every 10 minutes it's going to go to commercial. And I
Oh, they'll
love
just
having
do
it on
another
in the back.
box, Andy.
Yeah.
They'll just
Well,
add another box with
you're
an
right.
ad, right? Like, and then it'll be like 50 boxes, and I won't be able to see anything. So this news to me was kind
Uh,
of I was kind of annoyed by this. I hope though the interesting thing to me is I didn't know that so when DirecTV had the package, the Siciliano direct Red Zone was produced by DirecTV. It had nothing to do with the NFL.
oh,
But the
mhm.
NFL was producing the Red Zone that was going out to, like, what was it, like Verizon subscribe, all the people who
Yeah, something
had
like
the
that.
other Red Zone, right?
Hmm.
That's the Red Zone that is now on Apple TV. So Apple TV does not run the Red Zone. The NFL does. It's part of the NFL network.
Yep.
So that's the depressing part is I almost wish it's not Apple, YouTube. I wish that YouTube took over the package, but they don't have the same kind of. It's not the same feeling as it was with DirecTV, where you felt like the hands of them,
Yeah.
like they tried to put the channels near each other when they were on, and like just
Yep.
little things that it felt like a football person
Yeah.
was actually cared about it,
Hmm.
and it doesn't feel like that. Though the everything else is better. I can't complain at all,
And I
you
still
know,
I
but
still think that I would bet they're going to keep tweaking it because that's what this is only they've only had it what 2 years now. This is the
yeah,
third
yeah,
season coming
yep,
up.
yep, yep.
I mean, they might still be tweaking it. I'm assuming they're still tweaking it, but
Oh, they
yeah,
are. I'm sure they are. And this season, I'm sure they'll add more options to it that we'll be
yeah.
talking about on Around the Couch. But I don't know any other. I don't. I wish I had something positive to say, or like what they could do is this, but just ESPN is yucky to me, man. Like everything they do, and all the guys who work there too. Like it's so obvious their type of journalism that they like this agent or they like this player, and so
Hmm.
they're always talking about that play. Like it's just ridiculous. Like even listening to Shefty, for one person, he'll be like, well, this guy's holding out. I mean, who does he think he is? He
Yeah.
hasn't talked. And then for the next guy, he'll be like, well, in this situation, the team is not taught. And it's never
Yeah.
like that. You
It's
know what I'm
because
saying?
his friend is the agent of the guy,
Exactly.
or his friend
He,
is the GM of the team, or what. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
He always just represents the side that he's getting the information from, and he
and
has a source.
I guess what makes me the most disappointed about it is I know they're going to do what they've done with everybody else. It's they try to make it about the players way more than the teams, which always annoys me. Like it's
Yeah.
always Aaron Rodgers, then it's the Jets, or it's always
Yeah.
LeBron James, then it's the Lakers. It's always they focus every hyper focus on one player. It doesn't matter what the sport is. It's the same way. Shohei Ohtani, they do the same. I mean, all these big guys, and it's never. I would much rather focus on the teams than the actual just single play. I mean, yes, when they have a great performance, yes, but like you turn on and it's like it's the joke that's so true. It's like the what does this mean for LeBron James kind of thing for everything. It's like why
Yeah.
I'm afraid. I mean, they're gonna do that with Patrick Mahomes or with whoever and it's like it's a team
It's
game.
really antiquated. That's the thing. That's the
Hmm.
thing that surprises me about ESPN in general is, and with this Colbert axing this week, which is like a shock in the TV industry or whatever. The political reasons I hate, whatever, we don't need to talk about that. But the fact that somebody did that, I actually kind of like that. Because people are not watching this shit. Like, why do you keep doing things that people are not responding to? Like, I don't need
And
you. It doesn't make sense to me. It's just like ESPN. No one needs to crawl anymore. We all have phones.
and
Eliminate
yeah,
it.
that's
Like
it.
just
The
make
talk show thing
changes.
is a dying thing. I think you guys
Yeah.
even talked about when you talked to Solo. I think you even mentioned it's like the YouTube views for Jimmy Fallon and those guys are like 10 times what the viewers are that actually watch it on linear
Right.
TV.
Just
And
do a YouTube show then. It doesn't
yeah,
make sense. It's like I don't I feel that way about it's sad when, and hey, look, I'll complain about, like, it's happening to HGTV. They're probably gonna that channel is probably gonna end up being like MTV, and they're just gonna show like House Hunters,
yeah.
because even though the shows are cheap to make, they're not making any money off of them, and the management that to keep it running costs money too behind the
Hmm.
scenes. It's not just making the show, the marketing department, the this, the HR.
Yeah.
It's you're running a business. They just don't want to do it. It's
Yeah,
not
and when they
profitable
can
enough.
cut it and put a rerun of Yellowstone on there and probably draw more viewers,
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like,
why would
why?
you not? It's
And then to do that, why even do that? Why even have cable anymore? Like that's I don't care. Like if they announce tomorrow, like MTV is they're cut, they're it's gone. I would be like, okay.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
okay. It
because
doesn't change my life.
what
Like,
what young people are even watching MTV anymore? I can't imagine it's a whole lot. They're
that's
all watching Twitch
let
and
it
YouTube.
let things die.
Yeah,
Let it die. I don't like the way they go about it. They always cut the outsiders first, right? And the
yeah.
outliers first. So, but that is life. That's America.
The
That's
one weird thing
capitalism.
about that whole Colbert thing too is like he's not really being fired. They're not renewing his contract. He's going to be on the air for another 10 months. So I'm like, it's so like if it was 100% political motivated, would they really let him stay on the air for 10 more months? They'd get his ass off
No,
there. So
no,
it's that
no.
whole situation is weird.
Yeah, no, that's why I don't, it's not even worth,
Yeah.
you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Everyone's going to have an opinion. I don't know any of these people. We're just guys
Yeah.
talking from articles and podcasts that we've read.
Yep.
Um, but it does make sense as what you're saying is it was a contract thing, but the timing is
Yeah, the timing
suspicious.
is
And
suspicious. There's no
there's,
question
of
about that.
course,
But
that we already know there was a payoff. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So, and Trumpito is squeezing out other people too. Now he's going to sue Murdoch. This is the thing, right?
Yeah.
Who's going to stand up? It's just bullshit. That's different. That's for a different podcast. Go listen to
Yeah.
Pod Save America.
Exactly
But for
right.
us, and people, for us, my opinion is as far as canceling Colbert or canceling all the late night, cancel them all. I don't even think you like for NBC, you're going to keep the Tonight Show because it's a staple. And
Yeah.
because also, what's his name? Jimmy Fallon is totally innocuous. He's just a host. He's like a
Yeah.
goof.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd be surprised if these are all still on the air within 5 years.
Yeah,
I
Seth Meyers takes over SNL. We don't need him on any. I never watched any of these shows.
Yep. I would occasionally watch like a clip on YouTube the next day. Like if somebody had Bill Murray on and I wanted to watch
Yeah,
it, I may watch the YouTube clip of the video, but I don't actually watching it live. I haven't done that. So, well, like much like Solo was saying the other day, I was a huge Conan guy. That was the last time I watched anything
yeah,
regularly was when Conan was on. So,
yeah. But I'm in favor as these things start happening. It is sad to see things go and you're like, oh shit. And I react to I have my own reactions and I have to think about it. It's just like with HGTV. I love HGTV. I'm a huge fan. But when I was like, oh, they cancel these shows, I had a couple people say, oh, HGTV still exists.
hmm.
Because people and kids don't know. That's
Well,
not how
and
they watch
same
TV.
thing, even shows on HGTV, people are getting the version of that on YouTube. It's like, think
Yeah.
about how many more people are like for talk shows, how many more people are watching that Hot Wings guy interview celebrities than he's probably gets more than
Andy, you're
all
so
of the
right.
Colbert and all those guys put together.
Hey, it's just like we did Anne, who covered
Hmm.
Sirens with me. She has her channel where she talks about the design of TV
Yeah.
shows and stuff.
Hmm.
Then you start thinking about all the different design and building stuff on YouTube, and that's what HGTV is anyway.
Hmm.
So people are already do. It's just an old person like me is used to seeing it like this,
Yeah.
but even old people like me are on YouTube. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I think we're saying the same thing. Times
Yeah, for
change.
sure.
It's uncomfortable, and the way the corporations go about it is always slimy. But things have to happen. And as far as like late night going away or news changing, other things changing. It's a result of the thing we're doing podcasting,
Hmm.
streaming, the internet. It's all just a delivery system. It's the same thing I've always said about films, right? Like
Hmm.
famously, Stanley Kubrick was watching television, saw one of his films on TV. I can't remember which one it was that he saw on TV. He
Uh-huh.
saw the way it was cut, panned, and scanned. And he said, oh, he got angry. But then, because he was an intelligent motherfucker, he said, oh shit.
Started shooting them in that aspect. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do to change this. But
Yep.
what I can do is I can set up my monitors for both panned and scanned and and theater. And
Hmm.
I'm going to frame everything both for
Hmm.
both. So when they pan and scan it, it's still an amazing film and you'll still get the feeling of it.
Yeah.
That is going with the flow.
Yeah. Adapting.
And
Yes.
adapting, and you're not happy about it, but people will have be able to see it in different. And he also had was a visionary enough to know later on they'll be able to show the theatrical one. They'll have better televisions maybe in
Hmm.
30 years. So
Hmm.
that print is available, and now that's what we see. You know what I mean? So you have to adapt, and people get upset, but it's like I say, if we woke up tomorrow, Andy, and they eliminated and Paramount was like, we're eliminating all of the cable networks,
Yeah.
everything's just
MTV,
going to
Comedy
be
Central, all of them are gone. Yep.
everything, and we're just putting everything on Paramount Plus. I'd probably go, smart idea.
Yep.
Smart
Yeah.
idea. We don't need any of that cable shit anymore. What do you who cares?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not making money from it, if you're people are watching it on it, I'll tell you what, this happens to me all the time. I will start watching a show on YouTube TV. I have HBO Max, and I've ate through YouTube TV. Now, since HBO is also on demand through YouTube TV, and it has the same exact library as HBO Max, anything I watch on YouTube TV that I DVR that is available regardless of the network, okay? If it's available on HBO Max, it will serve me the on-demand version, which doesn't have any commercials. So I
Yep.
don't even have to fast forward through it because it's serving me. It knows I don't want to see the commercials and it serves me but this seems like a great idea, except when I start watching something on HBO Max and I can't remember if I watched it on HBO Max or YouTube because it's the same fucking thing. Neither of them have commercials. I can't remember. So my wife and I are always like, did we start watching this on HBO or is it on YouTube TV? And then we'll start it on YouTube TV and we'll be like, wait a second, we saw this already. This is like, oh, we were watching it on HBO Max. And then we'll go back to, so it's like, why? Why do I need all of this?
We're gonna need to get you a little clipboard that you guys can stick right next to your couch so you can write down where you were watching stuff and get back to the same spot you were watching it at.
But it's crazy, Andy,
I
because you
know.
used to get angry and say, "Oh, they're making me pay extra for this." Now I'm
Hmm.
like, they give me too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
I don't know what I love that YouTube TV does that. It's smart to serve me the on demand, but I can't remember unless you then take my account and cross reference it with my
Yeah.
previously watched on YouTube. Oh God, I'm tired just from talking about
This
this, man.
this watching TV is a hard job.
It is a hard job, you know? It's I don't know, man. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's
Well, what
it's
else you
tough.
got? What else you have to talk about, Andy?
We could talk a little bit of TV stuff.
All right, let's do it. It's hard, but somebody has to do it.
Um, I watched the first two episodes of Strange New Worlds last night. Have you watched
Okay,
any of it yet?
I have watched the first episode and I'm halfway through the second, and this is of the third season,
Third
right?
season, yep.
On Paramount Plus, exactly what we're talking about. This show, we were all wondering, why did they say that this show is getting one more season and then like in a like abbreviated fifth
Well, no, it
season?
has two more
Now,
seasons. Yeah, yeah. The
right,
abbreviated
it has
season
a
is season
four.
five. Yep.
Right. So it has one more season and then abbreviated. So it's a full season four. And they announced this a while ago, but
Yeah.
I think they're clearing the deck. We'll talk about this, but I think they're going to clear the deck of all this shit too, dude.
Well, I can't imagine them clearing all of Star Trek out. That's too big of a property to.
No, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to keep doing them.
Oh, well, if they do that, all bets are off. But that seems like way too. I mean, that's kind of their.
I,
Besides them and Taylor Sheridan, those are their two big. Unless this isn't getting any viewing, I guess. But like I know with this show, at least specifically this show, though, they've said since the beginning they wanted to do 5 years. That's what they say even in the beginning. They say a 5 year mission, and that's they
To
have
bring
all
it
the
up to
creators have
speed. Yeah.
yeah, have always said that. So I mean the abbreviated part's the part that's a little bit scary, but I don't know. Yeah, that's man, if they did that, that would I would be shocked, but I guess nothing should
I wouldn't
surprise me
be
when it comes
because
to that.
I wouldn't be Andy because they probably think it's more worth it to do the films or something,
Well,
you know?
and they definitely, judging by the first episode, they definitely spent a lot of money on this show.
Yeah,
That
this
first
costs a
episode
lot of
was
money.
awesome.
I really like this show. I think it combines the best of the new Trek stuff for
Hmm.
me. It has kind of the heart and the emotional aspects that Discovery had a bit too much of. And it has a lot of the fun of the Picard series and the action stuff and and the humor too.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
Yep.
And the casting
The
is
cast
like
is
it's
great.
perfect.
And I like how there's a lot of stuff where it because it's this is kind of a reboot almost, and they kind of they take a
Yeah,
lot of the best things from especially the original Trek, a lot of things. And the first two episodes of this season actually it seems like they're taking a lot from Next Generation, but not in a way that it's too much. Like everything is a nod to it. They're just little subtle things. You can enjoy it without that. So I don't know. I was I was a little nervous about this one coming back because after Section 31, the Star Trek movie that came out a couple months ago that I thought was garbage. This
I
I'm
couldn't
very
get
excited.
that wasn't even Star Trek, dude.
No,
That was the least I don't know. I know that had a very hard and it had a strange
yeah,
birth, as they
hmm
say, or creation. But yeah, it just didn't work. It didn't
yeah.
work.
So I was nervous, but I was pleasantly surprised with this, and I said I love that. I love that. I love the beginning episode. I thought it was awesome. I thought the way they recreated a past villain. I think I said that this was a top five show. I think for me a couple of years ago, that last season. So
Yeah,
I was very pleasantly surprised
me
at how
too.
much I enjoyed this one. So.
Yeah, I love it. Anson Mount is spectacular. What a
Mhm.
great captain. And Spock, what's his name? Ethan Peck? Is that
Ethan,
his
yeah,
name?
Gregory Peck's grandson, right?
Grandson. Yeah.
Yeah,
He is, I hate to say it, folks, the best Spock ever. I'm sorry. I like him better than the original Spock.
better than Nimoy.
Better than Nimoy. I like him better. I
Ooh,
love Nimoy. You know, come on, he was Spock, man, but he was handicapped by, I think, what they allowed him to be, you know, and the movies he definitely was able to make that character into something it wasn't on the show. Though
yeah.
there was some interesting stuff on the original, but there's just something about him and the way he plays this character that I just love him, man. He's my fave.
The I also like most of the women in this cast who I didn't really know any of them besides Rebecca Romaine. I love all of the women in this cast too. I
Yes.
think they're all the woman that plays Nurse Chapel. I think she what's her name? Jess Bush. I think
Yeah.
she is awesome and a character that was kind of nothing in the original series, and they've really made her
Well,
great.
that's another thing about this show, Andy, is everyone is great looking.
Well, that's
The
true.
men and the women are great looking, and
Yes.
they're good actors too. And
Hmm.
that happens, you know.
Yeah.
Good looking people can be good actors, you know.
I think I think Uhura is Cuba Gooding's daughter, I believe, too.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Celia Rose Gooding. I
Oh,
think that her dad
damn.
is Cuba, I
Okay.
think.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
not positive on that, but I think so.
my favorite is the I think she's awesome too because she had that whole backstory with the Gorn,
Yeah.
and
Oh
I've
yeah.
always liked her. And then when she was doing her dancing at the beginning of this second episode, I
Yeah.
was like,
She's awesome.
I invested in the right person here.
Okay, I'm completely wrong. Her dad was not Cuba Gooding Jr. I
Oh,
got some bad intel there.
that's fucked up, Andy. You just lied to everybody live on
Yeah.
YouTube.
I apologize to
Uh-oh, we're
Celia.
gonna be liable. Libel against Ando, against
Yes.
Cuba Gooding. He's gonna be like, that's not my daughter, motherfucker.
Oh,
Um,
Grandpa James just confirmed with you. He says I agree. The best Spock.
Yeah, nice. I love him. I think he's great. He's just
Oh,
there's just something about him.
yeah, he is great. I have to give that more thought because Nimoy is like a foundational character for me ever. His Spock. So I'll have to think about that more when I'm watching it. But yeah, yeah, great show. Oh, he wants to know if we're caught up on Foundation too.
Yes, 100%.
Yep, I am too.
Foundation is so and this season, I mean, we're only, what do we got? Two episodes so far, right?
Yeah, I think it's been two. Yep.
Yeah, both. It's moving so fast. And I'm so happy too, because I was a little worried when they introduced what's his name again? The bad
Oh,
guy.
the not the Vulture, the well, what the heck is his
I'm losing it
character's
right
name? Not the Viper. The it's something
now.
something like that.
James is going to tell us.
Yeah, he's the guy. He well, he
Tell
played
us in the
Euron
chat.
Greyjoy in Game of
Yeah, he
Thrones.
was so good. But when they introduced this character very briefly in the kind of little quick scenes at the end of
Yeah,
season two,
I wasn't real. I was like,
yeah,
ugh.
it did not come across
It looked like they were gonna
as
bring a
interesting.
serial killer in or something. I'm like, what's going
Yes,
on with
right.
this?
It just wasn't, it just didn't, the clip they were showing just didn't grab me.
Yep.
But his character is amazing. And I really love what I really love about this show
The
is
mule. Thank you, James.
the mule. Yes, the mule. Awesome. A, a famous sci-fi character. I love the way um oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, I lost my train of thought.
I can't believe how fast it is because the first two
Yeah,
seasons, that was anybody I've recommended the show to, I've always said you gotta wait because the first three, four episodes are always set up and it's extremely slow. And this one, or not slow, but just deliberately paced. And this one, it just hops right into it and it's been pedal to the metal. How have they said how many seasons this is planning on going? I don't know. I don't remember anything about that.
I would think five is like the number now these days,
Wow.
but Apple will give them anything they want, man.
Yeah.
They love this show. And
Yeah.
this is like a foundational show for them too. That's the thing too. You could turn the volume off, just not even talking about plot points,
Yeah.
and just look at this show, and it's gorgeous. The CGI is spotless. It looks great. When they have battles, like in that first episode, you can see what's happening.
Yeah.
It's just the way they do light and the different planets and everything.
And
I
you're
don't
right,
know,
you
man.
don't
I
really
love it.
need to. It's weird because there's a lot of plot, but you don't really need to pay that close of attention to the plot, I don't think, to get it. It's such an unusual show in a good way, I think.
Yeah. Well, the way that each season that it keeps moving and it retells the story. They've been very
Hmm.
good at going back and retelling this story and explaining the story with voiceover. They do the previously ons are really
Yeah.
good to watch actually for this show because they don't just give away everything that's going to happen, but I think they're a good place setter
Yeah,
for
because
it.
like I even have a feeling that somebody could watch season three and not see the other two seasons, and I think as dense as this show is, I think you would still get what's
Oh
going
yeah,
on,
I agree. I
which is
totally agree.
crazy to think about because it is super dense, but at
Yeah.
the same time, I think you could step right in and you wouldn't miss it.
No, totally. I mean, I wouldn't want you to do that
No,
because
I mean, you and I would never do
everybody,
something like that, but
yeah, everybody should watch both seasons. But man, Lee Pace is so good.
oh man, I
All
love
the
him in this
actors,
season.
yeah, everything is so good. And what was it? I'm trying to. I had a good thought about the mule, but oh, that's what it is I'm currently listening to another one of Annie Jacobson's books, she did the nuclear war book, and
Oh
I
yeah,
was listening to her DARPA book, and now I'm listening to a book called Phenomena, and it's about the US government's investigations into ESP and all that kind of shit,
oh yeah, I
like
see it right here.
yeah, extrasensory perceptions, telekinesis, psychokinesis.
Uh-huh.
um, all this kind of fun stuff. And Grandpa James, you should definitely listen to this book. It's awesome. And what I love about Foundation is the idea of that, and it's such a it's oh I mean it's in Dune as well, right? And it's in a lot
Yeah.
of
A lot of
classic
sci-fi.
sci-fi. You
Yeah,
go
for
back to
sure.
even because it comes from fantasy aspects, and you start thinking about Lovecraft shit too, which I
Yep.
introduced my son to Lovecraft. I want him to start reading those
Oh, how is
stories.
that going?
He hasn't started reading it yet. I
Oh,
just
okay.
started telling him a little bit about the idea of the creating the universe, and this is one of
Yeah.
the first kind of like
Uh-huh.
extended universes that existed.
Yep.
In um, well, I mean, I guess it kind of is to me one of the first. I mean, it goes back to like Greek mythology, religion. That's why I was always interested in religions too, growing up, is like it's different sci-fi stories, right? Like it's different creation stories. It's fun, it's
Yep.
interesting.
Yeah,
And
for
that's
sure.
really because if you think about it, what is the MCU but like, the Norse gods or the Greek gods or the Hindu gods? It's
Yep.
just a team up, right?
Yep. That's exactly
Um,
right.
and then sometimes you get the humans involved, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes you have sex with them too, and then kids come out. Things like that happen. The Greeks they love doing that shit.
Yeah, they do.
Um, but I love the way they mix the ESP stuff and the mule's powers with the advanced technology, and I just love the mix of that
Hmm.
because to me that is something I think that's I've been thinking a lot more about that lately, about ESP and different kind of stuff, because with the advent of AI and the proliferation of it, and also just basically technology going nuts. I always expected, because when I was a kid, I read all these books.
Yes, of course.
I always expected that this would run parallel with them, like psychic abilities being just normalized in society. I
Yeah.
don't know why, because I read comic books too.
Hmm.
So I've just been thinking about it lately. I'm like, we gotta have all this AI. Like, it's about time that somebody
Yeah.
like starts moving objects with their mind. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Come on, why not? Right? It's
Oh, where are the
2025.
X-Men for crying out loud?
Yeah. Right, Ando? That's just I don't know, man. I just been thinking about that lately. But speaking of, do you want to transition to a little Marvel X-Men news? Because I want to ask you about this.
Sure, we can do a little superhero segment. I've got a few things I can
Okay.
talk about here.
Okay. Well, just recently, Kevin Feige did a big
Feige, you were right the first time.
Feige. Okay, he did
Yep.
a big interview, and he
I'm actually,
talked.
before you pause for a second, I'm currently listening to that book that Joanna Robinson worked on, that MCU book.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
listening to it. I'm
really?
about halfway through it. It is quite interesting. I'm actually learning a lot of things. I'm a pretty big MCU fan, as you know. I'm actually learning
Yeah,
quite a few things, so it's a fun listen. So,
that's
anyways,
interesting.
continue about the Feige interview.
Oh, crap. I was just going to take a hit, Ando, so you
Oh,
can tell us more about that.
okay. Yeah, I know the interview you're talking about where there was some stuff
It was
dropped
quick. It
about.
was quick.
Yeah, that was just a little one.
Um, Now we're back on the podcast. Listeners know what's up.
Yeah,
Um, but
and
one of the
viewers
things he
now.
said, yeah, we got YouTube viewers. One of the things he said, which I found interesting, and I guess I should have known this already, is that for the upcoming introduction of the X-Men in both, I guess, Avengers Doomsday and the Secret Wars,
Yep.
right? So for basically the next 5 fucking years, they are going to use all the old X-Men from the movies, from the old movies.
Well, did he say that was going to be all of them? I know some of them have been announced for Doomsday, but I don't think he said, I don't think he commented on anything past that.
No, he did. This is what he said.
Oh, did.
He said,
Okay.
we're going to, for these movies, it's going to be all the people you know. Then
Okay.
we're going to recast. They talked about this recasting. They're
Okay. I
going
didn't
to
see that part of the interview
recast
then. Okay.
all of them, okay, or most of them. And they're also going to recast Tony Stark, Captain America, because what the Secret Wars thing is, which they actually just recently did, it was only like 2017 or 15 or
Yeah,
something when
I know
how
it's
it
a
came
fairly
out.
new
Yeah.
storyline.
but it's a new storyline, but it's not a new idea or concept,
Hmm.
right? Parts of it are, but one part of it isn't, which is basically how do you solve a riddle that is the multiverse? And what you do is you make it so there's one primary timeline and they all have to meld together.
Yeah, I heard they were going to meld stuff together and be back into one timeline again after
So
Secret Wars.
if you remember, one of the concepts, and I think the concept was actually introduced in the Deadpool movie,
Hmm.
right? Or maybe no, it wasn't. I
Or
think was that
Loki.
maybe
Was
right.
it?
I think it was
Yeah.
Loki.
The sacred
Is
timeline thing.
is the not the sacred time, but why something is a sacred time?
Oh, yep.
Each universe, each multiverse has one superhero that
Oh,
is the
yeah.
anchor
But
hero.
yeah, the anchor being thing. Yeah, that was,
That
I think that was in Loki and Deadpool, maybe. Definitely Deadpool and Wolverine.
that's I think they were because of course Deadpool is time hopping. He's involved in
Yeah,
right, and then he goes to see Wolverine, and the reason why Wolverine is Hugh Jackman and could be because he is the anchor being
yeah,
for the timeline,
for that.
right?
And
For
I think, yeah,
that
because I think they said for
universe,
that X-Men universe, the Fox X-Men universe, he was
he's the
the
anchor.
anchor being. Yep.
So they're going to use that concept and they're going to recast by bringing people in from different multiverses that we've not yet seen to be the new Captain America. The new, and whether or not there's a choice involved here by our characters to sacrifice themselves, like blah blah blah, right? Like Scarlett Johansson did, or all
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. Of course, is yet to be seen. But what? How do you feel about that? What do you feel about this? After waiting so long for the X Men, we're gonna have to see the old X Men.
I don't know. I mean, it seems odd that they would bring in the old X-Men again. I mean, I was surprised when I saw Patrick Stewart's name and Ian McKellen's name and some of those guys coming back because
They're
they
all
kind of,
great. I don't
yeah,
have a problem with them.
yeah.
Like
Well,
I'm
yeah,
actually,
that cast is great. I have no qualms about that. But it seems like a missed opportunity to not just bring in a whole different crew right away, right off the bat.
yeah, it just takes so long. You know what I mean? Like they have to bring them in, get rid of them, bring the new people. I hope there's a little bit more mixing. Like one or two of the we meet the new Captain America early on. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? But then we don't we kind of know he's going to end up being this or the new whatever, you know? I don't know. I
and
had
how do
mixed
you?
feelings about it.
Because you almost have to, especially with the recasting of people, you kind of have to make the character a little bit different. You don't because who could
Right.
do Robert Downey Jr. or who could do Chris Evans? You'd
Exactly.
have to
Yeah.
tweak those characters enough to make
Yeah.
it. It'd be too much pressure to have cast somebody and say, okay, you have to be Robert Downey Jr. now. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a recipe for disaster for
Or
anybody.
yeah, so it's like Tony Stark and he was actually a family man. He married his high school sweetheart, had a kid by the age of 19, was a
Yeah.
father, dedicated to his craft, doesn't do many interviews, stays
Hmm.
behind the scenes, then becomes Iron Man and
Or Iron
goes
Man's
the
never
other
public
way,
who it is or
right?
some. I
And
mean,
is
yeah,
and is just coming off a divorce now and is wrecked.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like the inverse story, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, I'm cool with all of that. Like I'm open to them doing anything that's fun and superhero movies are like men soap operas, right?
Hmm.
People, they die, they come back from
Well,
life. You married your mother or your sister,
and as far as recasting some of that stuff, I think that if you're going to keep those characters around, I think you have to because like one of the things I was going to say over the last probably 3 weeks, Luke finally decided here about a month ago he was reinterested in Marvel again. So we've probably been watching 2 to 4 MCU movies a week over the last month. I've been taking Luke all the
Oh,
way
that's
through,
fun.
and so like we just watched Ragnarok for he watched that for the first time like 2 days ago. So we're almost to Black Panther and Infinity War. So we're getting closer to the end now. But seeing how much, and especially in a short time frame, basically seeing the whole MCU and how much those characters and how much Robert Downey Jr. and those guys have gone through on screen already.
Yeah.
You can't do like Andy Sipowicz in NYPD Blue. It's like how much more can you this one character do? They need
Yeah.
to freshen it up because there's so much history there already that it's just too ridiculous after a time. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
okay with it. I'm okay with it.
yeah, I like no, see, I like the recasting. That I'm totally
Yeah,
fine with.
but you're
I
right.
just wish they did it a little bit earlier. Like I'm ready for them to do that already.
Well, and the thing is, I think they kind of tried to do that. They tried to have their cake and eat it too, because they like tried to make a new Captain America and they've tried to make a new Black Panther and they've tried to do this stuff, but keep the history, but then change the character, and it hasn't quite worked very well, I don't think. So,
Yeah, I wanted to cheer for Anthony Mackie to be Captain America. I like the guy, I like the story, I like the
yeah,
setup. But they should have given him a super serum. He didn't have any powers, bro.
yeah,
Like you're not
that's
like that's just part that was what it was for me. That's why
yep.
that movie was kind of like, it's like you keep
I
on
I still
flying
thought that
around.
movie was okay, but I was like, it would have been it would have been better if he had superpowers
Yeah.
for sure,
It was
because
fun. It
that's
was okay. I mean, along the line of it wasn't terrible. I enjoyed it. It was
and
a
you know, I
few
did end up
hours.
while I was building the Lego X-Men mansion, I did actually watch, which is a underrated build. It's way better than I was expecting and what I've heard.
Nice.
You will like it. I since I had watched first episode of Ironheart, I put that on and let it just play while I was watching it. The very last episode is actually kind of cool of that show. They introduced some a very cool villain that I never thought would appear. So the very last episode of Ironheart is kind of cool. The rest of the show is, it is what it is. But
Can I just
that,
watch the last episode?
I think so.
Okay, maybe I will then.
You'll know exactly what I'm talking about right away.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
um,
I mean,
yeah.
look, man, we've so many people have talked about the superhero stuff and we've been up and down it. And I think if you enjoy it, you have fun with it. It's good stuff. And at its best, it's cool and funny. And Marvel has done some really good stuff. And I'm happy that DC is doing, I'm happy to see a good Superman. I want to go see this Superman.
Well,
I like this
that was
guy. He seems cool.
the other thing I was going to tell you. I can give a non-spoiler Superman review.
Oh, you saw it.
Yes.
Okay, so let's hear it.
Well, this last weekend, um, Luke and Des are 8 and 4 right now. So Luke is into older stuff that Des can't go to, and there's sibling rivalry stuff all the time. And I said, okay, Luke, this weekend, Des will go to Grandma and Grandpa's. Mom and I will take you to go see Superman. Luke goes, that's boring. I want to go to Grandma and Grandpa's too. So Luke decided to not go to Superman. So Claire and I had a date and went to see Superman by ourselves on Sunday night.
Wow.
So um it is unlike any of the Superman films to date. It's a completely different than Zack Snyder. There is almost zero Zack Snyderness to it. It's more like Donner than that, but it's very different than that. It's very sci-fi, a lot more sci-fi than Superman has ever been. It
Really?
a lot weirder than Superman has ever been. I mean, it's James Gunn, so it definitely, but it's not like James Gunn over the top James Gunn, but it definitely you can definitely tell it's a James Gunn film. It has some of his quirkiness to it. Cast is awesome.
Yeah.
Very good cast. Almost everybody in the cast is great. Um, it's also very comic booky. Not that I've read a ton of superhero or Superman comics,
It
but
looks like to me.
you
Yeah.
can tell that it is just the stuff because it's got that feel to it. Some of the things that I also really liked, it jumps right in. This is not an origin story. It assumes you know who Superman is. You know who Lois Lane is. You know who some of these other characters that show up are. So that is very cool. And I think one of the coolest things that Gunn did with him is he makes him vulnerable. So he's not the most invincible. He's still super strong in Superman, but
Yeah.
he gets beat up a little bit, which
But
is
he's
a
still
nice.
young though, too, right?
Yeah,
Like
he's like
he's not.
32, I think, in this. 33, I think he
Oh,
is in this.
really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought he was even younger.
Yes, because no, well,
Oh,
at the
okay.
very beginning, there's like a text crawl, or kind of like not like Star Wars text crawl, but something similar to that, where it says 30 years ago he arrived on Earth, 3 years
Oh,
ago he became
interesting.
public. So at this point, Superman has been
Oh,
a
okay.
known entity
Okay.
for 3 years.
Okay.
I mean, that's
That's
literally in the
what I
first 10
missed.
seconds of the
That's
film. So,
interesting. Okay.
and like I think I was describing to somebody else, if comparing it to the Bond film, because I actually think Superman is almost like Bond for the Americans in the way that the franchise has rebooted itself and all this stuff. if Zack Snyder was Daniel Craig, James Gunn is Roger Moore, if that makes
Interesting.
sense. So it's a lot more fun. There is some serious stuff in it, but it's not so somber and so
That's
down
what
in
it
the
should be,
dumps
man. Yeah.
and the Superman is optimistic. But he's also a little egotistical at times. So it's a cool, cool little mix of things. So it's
Yeah.
I didn't love it. It's not perfect. I still don't think it's as good as Superman 1 or Superman 2 of Donner's, but it's probably the third best Superman or my third favorite Superman film. So
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was not obviously a huge fan of
yeah,
the Snidey.
yes,
Because to me, I do I that bubblegum Super Friends Superman, that's cool with me. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
It's much
Like,
closer to that.
yeah, it was always weird for me when like Batman showed up in that shit. And I'd be like, you're too dark, Batman. Go into the corner. Like you're like,
And
you know.
there is one when you're watching it, there's one scene, and you'll see it when you see it. You will. He takes a shot at the Snyder trolls, the online Snyder trolls in this. I may have been the only person in the theater that got the joke because it wasn't very full when we were there, but I'm laughing my ass off. My wife looked at me like I was crazy, but it's definitely a shot at the idiots on Twitter that are Zack Snyder is the best ever. All this, it's quite funny, and
It's weird. That whole thing is weird because I can't say I'm a huge gun fan either. Some
yeah,
of the stuff that he's done, Peacemaker, I thought was fantastic, and I'm
hmm
really looking forward to the second season.
as am I.
But his aesthetic is not exactly my aesthetic,
Yeah,
right? Like there's certain aspects of it that I appreciate, and the one aspect that I really do appreciate about him is he is like he's Tim Burton-y. He's comic booky. You can tell he's all up in that, right? Like
yep,
that's his. He's not. Zack Snyder was trying to take something and make it his,
hmm
right? Like he was trying to make it this universe. What Gunn is trying to do is he goes along with that. That is him. Like he is a fanboy.
yeah. He's
So
a
it
comic
comes
book guy. There's
natural.
zero question
Yes.
about this,
There's no pretense about what he's doing. He is naturally in that
and
world.
the other thing about this one that the Snyder ones didn't really have is it has heart. I mean, James Gunn knows how to make films with heart, even if you don't always like that aspect of those
Yeah,
films.
I agree.
And this film, I mean, there was multiple times where my wife was crying in
Oh
this film.
wow.
Like at
See,
the end,
that's
I could feel
good.
the seat shaking. She was crying so hard at one point in the film. So
Oh,
it was, yeah, but we both really liked it. I say it's not perfect, and the other cool thing is it really does set up the universe, the DC universe that they're doing. It sets it up. It leaves lots of little things there that they can expound on and that are going to be fun, I think. So it's a fun say it's not the best superhero or movie by any means, but I really enjoyed it and it's a nice breath of fresh air, I thought. So
all right. Well, I'm looking for. I want to go see it. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah,
I'm glad, and that's you know, I in general, of course, Andy, I would prefer that 30% of the films released wide in theaters were IP, sequels, superhero, and 70% were like adult dramas or
yes.
indie films. But that's
Uh-huh.
not the way it is. It's more like 99 to 1 as it
Yeah, they
is
get wide
now.
distribution anyways. Yeah,
Yeah. But if we're going to have these movies, you got to accept reality that they exist, and I'm going to watch them, and my son likes them. And I grew up with this stuff, and I enjoy these types of stories. So, hey, look, the thing is, Zack Snyder had his time, and all the people who are all upset about it, you should say, look, you had like 10 years of movies. You had so many fucking movies.
yep.
And by the way, they're all like 8 hours long, and there's like four different versions of them.
Hell, I mean, one of them they let him go back in and recut the
That's
movie,
what I mean. It's
spent like
like
an
what
extra 50 million on it. Yeah,
like let it go. It's
yep,
time let the new guy just do his thing. And also I think Gunn in the sense too after this should just ignore that shit. Just
yeah.
make what you're making.
Well, and
Who
the little
cares?
pot shot that he takes at him in this is it's like 2 seconds, and you just if you're not
That's
even
the
paying
way to do
attention,
it.
you won't even
Yeah.
see it.
Just
But
let
for
something
people like
new
us,
happen.
yeah, it's
You got to let it go. Let something new, see what happens. And then
yeah,
you know what, Andy? When we're fucking 60 years old in 10 years, sitting here talking podcast, being like, what the fuck are we doing? Hello?
yeah.
Hello?
What? Where am I?
It'll be like, the the whatever universe. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody
Yeah.
new will take over and start doing a bunch of new movies or
Yeah. And maybe it'll be
whatever.
Lachlan.
Oh, gosh, I hope so. Maybe we'll be writing them. We could be
We can be
starring them.
advisors. Yeah.
Solo can be Batman.
Oh, perfect.
Finally,
Perfect.
finally.
Yes.
Um, I'm trying to think of who Brett would be. I don't know. Who
The
would he
Riddler?
be? Ooh, the Riddler or the Flash.
Oh yeah, he's the Flash. Of
The
course he's the
Flash.
Flash.
I don't know who I am. I don't know. I'm not
I'll just
sure.
be Lex Luthor.
Oh, yeah, you are Lex Luthor. That's right. Well, I'm Thor, but I guess Thor's
Yes.
Marvel. So, um, what is
Perfect.
he? What does DC have a Thor equivalent? Is
Superman.
is he kind? I guess so.
I would say
Because they
Super
have like
well,
Namor is
or Captain
Aquaman.
Marvel is kind of like well, that's the Captain Marvel is kind of like Superman too. So,
Yeah. I'm thinking like what kind of mythological do they have? I bet you they have a mythological Norse.
oh yeah, they got to have
DC
somebody like
must
that in
have
there. I
something
guess
like
I always
that.
kind of took Thor as Superman, but
Well,
because
I guess
Batman
Zeus is like Superman. He can do anything, but he
isn't
can't. He
Zeus in Marvel though too.
Oh God, I don't know, Andy. What else do
I
we have to talk about?
we're out of our depth here. I think right now we got swimming in that superhero deep pool and got lost, got started drowning.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, hey, while we are on, um, oh, did you have more superhero stuff you wanted to chat
No,
about?
I don't think so. I was looking
Okay.
at the couple things I had noted down. Nope, that's
I did catch the first, and Grandpa James, if he's still here, would be interested in this because I don't know if he's watched it yet. Maybe he posted about it and I missed it. But I watched the first episode of The Institute, the Stephen
oh
King
yeah.
show
How is it?
on,
MGM, isn't it?
yes, MGM Plus. And it's from, I think, a lot of the same team that did From, like Jack Bender directs it. I
Okay.
think they have like kind of, I have to look more into it, but even while I was watching it, it felt like that. It felt like around the same budget too.
Yep.
So I was wondering, and maybe even shot in a similar area. So I was wondering if they're kind of developing that MGM Plus has their kind of their look, and if they're developing have a studio that their own, or
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about it. But anyway, I was really impressed.
Really?
I really like this show.
Because that's you know me, I'm a big a King guy. That's I was this one was one I was going to wait and see how the reviews were, and then maybe do the free trial thing after it's
Yeah,
all finished and watch it. But
you should. I mean, the first episode is for free now on Amazon Prime
oh,
because they
I think
want
I
you to
saw it was on
sign up.
YouTube as well. Yeah, maybe I should just watch it.
Yeah, I'm sure they want you to sign up. But
Yeah,
overall, it's not super glossy. It doesn't look like it cost $1 million.
it's a
Um,
good story. I don't and good acting. I don't care. I
the
don't need to
story
have
is
the.
good. Ben Barnes from Westworld is the male lead, but
Oh,
I don't
the
know
guy that played what's his name's brother, right?
yes, exactly. Who was later a computer
Oh,
program, if you remember.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but I don't, I listened to this book, but I don't particularly remember all the aspects of it. So I'm enjoying reading, kind of learning the story. But
Hmm.
I know basically, it's an institute of kids who have special powers. That's
Yeah,
what
this one I have this book. I have not read. I think I have it on
yeah.
audiobook too. I have not listened to it yet. I knew it was kind of that X-Men Carrie kind of thing, mutant type thing, possibly, but I didn't really have not.
Well, think about it this way. It's basically the place where they broke out Firestarter from,
Yeah,
right?
Firestarter and yeah, that same kind of
So I don't know if that's actually what's in the book. I don't
yeah.
remember if there's a link like that, but I might have just, that might be what the link is, right? Because they
Hmm.
do mention, what do they call that again? When you can pyrokinesis?
Telekinesis.
No,
Oh,
pyrokinesis is when
pyrokinesis.
you can
Okay.
control
Yep.
fire,
Yep.
I think,
Well, I think they
right?
always called Carrie a telekinesis because Carrie was
Yeah.
kind of that same thing. They've always alluded that her and Firestarter were kind of the same type of
Yeah.
thing.
So
So,
it's exactly. The thing about this is it moves right into the story. It doesn't bullshit. It doesn't have a lot of overly kind of it doesn't have a lot of exposition. It doesn't have a lot of overly emotional scenes of characters that you just met.
Hmm.
You get into the characters, they're moving, things are happening, they're learning, and the advantage you have is really the two stars of it are Ben Barnes, he's kind of on his journey, it's going to come at some point intersect, and the little kid who is like your kind of introduction to this institute, and the kid himself is like super smart and pragmatic. So it's not like, he's like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
He's like, okay, why do you have me here?
Okay,
And
so he's not, yeah,
it's not
not
like a
a.
secret that he has power, like the kids have powers. Like we have powers.
Hmm.
That's why we're here. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's
Hmm.
very, I like the way they don't kind of, I don't know the word for it is like romanticize maybe the supernatural elements of it. They're just
Yep.
plainly a part of the
It's
show.
just part of
That's
the.
what this world is, right?
That's actually similar to how they set up the Superman film, the new Superman Man film. They don't make a big deal out of it. It's just
I
this is the
I
world
like
and
that.
you're
We've seen
there.
it before. We don't need this.
Yeah.
Oh, the kid has power. We know the kid has
Yeah. We don't
powers.
need
We're
eight
what?
episodes figuring that out.
Yeah,
Jump. Don't start at,
exactly.
yeah, start at episode 9 or 10.
Yep. And
Because
it
too
was
many shows
good.
are doing that.
But
Yeah.
they don't cut it out. They just do it quickly and you see
Yeah.
it and it's boom by the end of the first episode, you're like, I like this show. And if all of the were available, I might even pay for a month to watch this show. I think there's 3 episodes so far.
Yeah. It looks just a couple, I think. Yeah. It only came out a couple weeks ago, I think. So
Yeah. So if you have MGM Plus, I would watch it. I think it's really good. I was surprised. I really liked it. I want to watch another episode today actually, but I have to. I'm like shit. I'm not going to pay that.
yeah, James says he has not watched it yet, but he's going to start today.
He's going
So
to like it. You're going to be
yeah.
happy, Grandpa James. You're going to be very happy. You're going to like it a lot. The kid is
He,
great.
he also wanted to
Great
know if we had
casting.
seen the weapons trailer. I think I watched part of it and I stopped it
Yeah,
because
me too.
I thought I was going to be spoiled on too much stuff.
Me too. Me too. It looks great. I'm going to see it.
Yeah.
I'll definitely see that. Because I thought, what was the movie that he did that
Um, the
with
heck was it? Oh,
Justin Long?
yeah.
Barbarian.
Oh, yep.
Barbarian was really good. What I don't know. Anything else you've been watching, Ando?
Um, I watched the first episode of The Gilded Age. I thought that's as good as it always has been. I loved it. I just haven't
Oh,
gotten
of the
back
new
to it yet.
season.
Yeah, the
Of the new
new
season.
season. Watched
Oh,
the
you have
premiere.
okay. You have no. Oh, dude, this
Yeah.
season is like a
I
fucking rocket, man.
I have no doubt. This is just one of those
I
shows when
love
you
it.
watch it, you're like, these people know exactly what they're doing, so I have zero doubt it's going to be good. I just haven't had time to get back to it yet. So I've been deep doing film list research the
Ooh,
last week or so. So I haven't
nice.
been a little bit less on my TV watching. But yeah, I love the first episode, and it's such a brilliant show. That show doesn't get talked about enough, I don't think.
I love it so much. Carrie Coon, the whole cast is
Yeah,
fantastic. I love that show so much. And anytime I think about it or I hear the name Gilded Age, I hear that do 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 do, like the
yeah,
piano
uh-huh.
and the sets, the production of it. Oh, it's wonderful.
And
I love it so much. I
no, I
love that
love
show.
why am I blanking on her name right now? The
Vera Farminga's
No,
little
not her daughter. Or is there
sister.
a daughter or sister?
Oh, so the one daughter is Vera Farminga's sister. She was in a lot of the Ryan Murphy stuff.
Yeah,
And then
Gladys
the other
Russell. Yep.
daughter is Meryl Streep's daughter.
Oh, that's right.
The blonde is
Yeah,
Meryl Streep's daughter.
yeah. Um, I can't remember what her
Gummer.
character's name is. My no, Christine Baranski. That's the one I
Oh
keep
yeah,
thinking of. That I mean,
Baranski.
she's always awesome, and no matter
Of
what she's doing.
course.
But I forgot that was
That's
that. Th
another show that this season, because they had that twist of fate where the one sister is rich and
yeah,
instead of bullshitting about it, they're just like, what's happening now? We
Yeah.
need to know. Like, I
It's
love that they don't, it's not like we're going to quietly tiptoe around
Yeah, it
this.
just comes out in the open. Or
Yeah.
like in the first episode, one of the couples is like, "Well, we want to keep our relationship a secret for a while. We're not ready." And 5 minutes later, somebody's blabbing to everybody else, and it's already
Yeah.
out in the open. And that's the kind of other kind of shows that'd be 6 episodes before that secret comes out. It's like, nope, we're just going.
Well, I think it's fun for him, Julian Fellows, because on like Downton, you had to do that because that's
Hmm.
English society. You would keep it quiet. But
Yeah.
this is America, motherfucker. They're in New
And
York, so
they
they're
even mentioned that a
pushing it.
couple of times in that first episode because there was one of the characters that's trying to get morbidly up or mobile upward mobily and trying to get out of his class, and one of the other people there, one of the other servants is like, no, 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 you can't do that. You need to stay at your level of that now. Don't you dare try and get higher than us. And the other guy's like, this is America. We don't do things that way here.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
yeah, this is yeah, I really
It's fun.
I love this show. Forgot how much I loved it. It's one of those shows I kind of like Strange New Worlds. I forgot how much I loved it until I watched it an episode again. So
Yeah, me too. I really I it doesn't take long, but you're instantly transported, and it's such an expensive show. It's such a beautiful show. It's so well directed. It is one of the
lavish.
it's a top show on TV whenever it's on and when it's not. It's at the top tier of production wise.
Yep.
It kind of it almost takes a little bit of that. It's not the same as Game of Thrones, but it has that same feel of quality.
Yeah.
And actually, we should transition because I was thinking about it, and it was a great article came out. I don't know if I call it great, but an article came out in Variety today about Alien Earth. And for the first like 10 paragraphs or so, oh, I had posted it to Facebook, but then I had to erase it because I was having this issue where gobbledygook was coming up in the when I think I'm just going to get off all of social media. I swear, I'm not even kidding. I like wrote a thing and then I went back and looked at it and it's like in like a different language.
There, I saw a bunch of words that were misspelled and weird
Yeah.
typing on it. I did notice that
No,
when
they
I
weren't
saw it there.
misspelled. That I didn't put
Oh,
those things
oh,
there.
really? Okay.
Yeah. It just appeared. So I don't know what's going because it was loading weird and it was like wouldn't load the article. I don't know what it is. Anyway, long story short, I'll repost it. But the first like 10 paragraphs is the writer commenting on why the female star, Chandler, what's her name? Right, her name is Chandler.
No, I think it's Kyle Chandler's daughter,
Oh,
isn't it?
right, Kyle Chandler, Kyle Chandler's daughter. So, or something Chandler, I can't remember her first name. Is the female lead of the new Alien show, and she didn't want to be in the photograph for some reason, but we have to go 10 paragraphs of how they communicated with the thing. But then after if you just skip that part of it, which I don't even know what there's no editors anymore on the internet. So if
Yeah,
I was
it
the
was
ed,
it's a weird the article. It's a lot of good information there, but the article itself was weird the way it was structured with that, especially.
it doesn't it's two different pieces. It's like
Yep.
one is like like you're getting into the actress, and then all of a sudden it gets into a great article that gives us loads of information and the thought process and the themes and everything about this new Alien show. So I would suggest everyone just skip past that first part and get to the part where they actually talk about it, and it really sets it up and made me so more excited than I already was for us to be covering it. But for the show itself, it just seems like it's gonna be super cool.
Well, and speaking of like high production values, the one thing that stuck out to me about that, I don't remember what other show they compared it to, but they said,
Shogun.
yeah, a Shogun that cost $250 million, and they said this cost more.
Yeah, I think a lot more.
That's
Yeah,
all for 8 episodes.
that's awesome. I can't
That's
wait, man. It's
like
gonna be
I thought they gave a
it's
lot
fun.
away in the trailers, but they obviously have not. If it's that expensive, there's got
Yeah,
to be some crazy shit going on. And that Noah Hawley's talking about wanting to do 4 or 5 seasons.
yeah.
I was surprised. I figured this would be like an 8 episode miniseries and that would be it. But wow. I mean, we'll talk about it when we talk about it. But damn,
And that's good.
I'm
And we're good
yeah.
too because FX, Hulu, the Disney Empire, we're going to be okay. They're going to
Hmm.
have the money. They're not going through any mergers or anything.
Yeah.
So there, things on that channel. You could say if this does well, this is going to have more seasons.
Yeah. FX might be the one other piece of Disney that kind of is its own thing sometimes. It's not as
Yeah, but
big
it
as
does.
ESPN, but
Yeah, I mean, still the name doesn't make sense that it's still Fox. FX,
yeah,
like
well,
FX got the movies. I know they bought it, but it's like nobody cares anymore, right?
yeah,
They
yeah.
should just make it a Hulu show, or you know what
That's
I'm saying, or
I
make it a
think they don't
Disney
want to
Plus
give up
show.
that whole FX like the Shield and all that prestige thing that FX has with it.
Yeah. But if
Not
they
that the
did,
Shield is
that's
that
another
bad, but
thing. Like, would I really be that upset at this point? No, because it's been years
yeah.
since I recorded Sons of Anarchy on FX or The
Hmm.
Shield, or I just go to Hulu, dude. I'm sorry. Times
Yeah.
change. It's okay. You don't need to keep calling it FX. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
it's not, it's just weird. That's not like HBO. HBO, it should all be HBO. That's the best name. Or
Yeah.
actually, they should just call Hulu FX, but then it's Fox. So
Yeah.
they don't want to do that.
It's a
Anyway,
weird thing. Yeah.
it is weird, but we're safer that I think that this company will invest in this show again if it's good and
Yeah.
people watch it. And so much of it was so interesting. Yeah, the amount of money they spent shooting it in Thailand, and oh, we get a little bit more Thai boxing.
I
We
think so. Well,
could,
now
yeah,
Solo's going to have to come on that podcast
yeah,
now.
we're gonna have to. But just everything they talked about, I didn't. There are aspects of it. We're definitely gonna do a preview, and maybe we'll do a little bit of a character breakdown, talk about the timing. But I also, it's freeing us up, Ando, because it takes place 2 years before the first Alien movie, but it kind of disregards Prometheus and all that other kind of shit. So
I
it,
still wonder if it's going to completely do that because,
it's okay. We've seen
yeah,
them, right?
yeah,
We've seen them. So if we see something, we'll
we're
know.
we're gonna know because I mean, I know with that show, the Noah Hawley show Legion that he did, there was a long time in that show where they're like, there's not going to be really because that's a Marvel show, and
Yeah,
not really, and it's kind of an X-Men show, and they're like, that's not really going to have any X, and there was X-Men stuff in it. I mean, it was subtle, but it
yeah.
was there. So it would not surprise me if some of that stuff is there, but we'll
But it
see.
frees
Yeah,
us, though,
for
from a
sure.
stringent
Yep.
stranglehold of the mythology,
Hmm.
right? Like we can watch this show, we can kind of theorize about what direction he's going. Because the one thing he said too is that he did disregard the whole David made the aliens, all
Yeah.
that kind of shit, the xenomorphs, because he wanted it to be more like this perfect, like evolution created this perfect
Yeah.
killer,
The perfect
you know?
organism. Yeah.
Yeah. So that I like, and that's more simple and direct.
Yeah. I and I
That's kind of
I
cool.
I I actually like as much I do like the prequels, but I like the unknown, the fear of the unknown kind of thing that the original Alien had. So I'm either way, I'm looking forward to it either way. But Ridley Scott is still a producer on this, though, isn't he? And I think it's
Yeah,
more than just name. I think he has actually some creative input. So
they're gonna do something to it to
yeah,
fuck with us, Andy. You know what? We
I know.
might discover by the third episode that it's a different timeline or some shit.
Yeah.
You know what
Well,
I'm
and
saying? Come on.
oh, and like even on Alien Romulus, they said it's not connected to Prometheus. Guess what? It was connected to Prometheus. So
Yeah.
yeah, well, either way, I'm excited. That article did get me kind of psyched for it because I didn't know what to because it really hasn't really been promoted that much yet, and really hasn't. They've just been little teases here and there. So it's
Yeah. But I like too the themes that he was talking about.
hmm
Um, and we'll definitely be talking about, and overall it's just gonna be cool.
yeah,
And if it costs that much money, it's gonna have some cool ass science fiction shit and probably
no doubt.
entire episodes of action. You're not gonna do an alien TV show and not have like one episode that is an homage to aliens where it
Yeah,
is nonstop action for the entire episode. It
yeah,
has
where
to
their
happen.
space marines are coming in or something. Yeah,
Yeah, you
and
have to
plus,
mix it up. Aliens isn't just one thing. It
yeah,
was many different films and the
and
comics and even the Predator shit and like,
Yeah, because I mean, the first film was horror, the second film was action, the third film was drama, the fourth film was kind of almost comedy. So it's they all kind of have had different things about them. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot of,
And
and
they
it's
did all
got
those
Timothy
other
Oliphant.
ones.
So what else do we need?
Yeah, that's true. He looks awesome.
Yeah.
Um, I did have a related thing, which is I finished Predator Killer of
Oh
Killers.
yes.
Have you watched any of this yet?
Yeah, I thought I mentioned it
Oh,
while
yeah.
back, and you'd watched the first couple, and I said I thought the last
Okay,
sequence was the
good.
best.
I couldn't remember how it said it. And I
Yep.
agree with you. I loved it. I thought that the whole thing was fantastic. I
Hmm.
love the way it ended. I love the story, the characters, everything about it. I thought it was fucking great, man.
Yeah.
I am very happy with that. And obviously they're going to do more.
Hmm.
And they should just keep doing more and let this guy keep doing Dan Trachtenberg. Let him
Yep.
keep doing this universe. There were parts of, um, some of the CGI animals in Prey were not my favorite.
Well,
As
I think some of that was because I don't think they had much faith in it. I mean, it went direct to
Yeah,
Hulu, so I don't think they
that's
gave it the
true.
butt because the next Dan Trachtenberg Predator movie comes out like in 2 months.
I can't
So
wait, and that
yeah,
looks so fucking cool.
yeah.
With Elle
I
Fanning.
watched 10 seconds
Yeah,
of that new trailer that came out, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to watch any more of this because
me too.
what
It
happens
looks
in that
good,
first 10
but
seconds? I'm like, holy shit, this is
you
yeah,
know too. I mean, it's given away in the trailer, but
yeah.
that she is a
Like
synthetic
Wayland
from
Yutani, yeah,
yeah.
from Alien.
So they're bringing that over. So I love all that, man. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I do too.
It was super nice. That was
Yes.
if anyone, if you are ever have a night where you're now there's a lot of action in it, but unlike a lot of animated stuff, it doesn't overdo the action. It doesn't like,
No.
okay, we're gonna go insane. Like it has distinct moments where you can see what's happening
Hmm.
and it progresses in the fights and everything. So I really like that because I my son asked me last night to watch what is now his new favorite film of all time called K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, I keep seeing it as a recommendation on Netflix, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
And I just couldn't, I appreciate it. I tried, I watched like 5 minutes of it. It has
I think
funny
it's a pretty big
songs.
hit. I
Oh, it's
think,
a huge hit. Kids
yeah.
love it. He watched it like 3 times in one day. And
Oh my God. Is it a movie or is it a show?
it's a movie.
Oh, it's a
It's a
movie.
movie. But I can't do the anime. I just can't do it, man. I can't do the yeah, like I just the close-ups and like the eyes bugging. I just it's too much for me. It's too much.
I can do some anime, but it's very selective.
Maybe old school Akira or something. I can't like maybe I could do some of that, but like this I can't. I tried watching One Piece and I almost like just started banging my head against a wall. How
Yeah,
many times the
that's a
guy's
big no
eyes
for
bug
me.
out towards
Yep.
the like I
Yeah.
just couldn't do it.
Nope. I'm with you there.
I'm
That's
sorry.
just not my thing.
I'm old. It's just who I am. Back in the day, man. It's just like I can't do too much heavy metal music anymore. Ozzy died.
I know. I was texting one of my other friends when he texted me, and I'm like, I'm actually surprised he still was alive. That guy lived life.
And you know what? I was very sad because one of my favorite Ozzy songs is Mama, I'm Coming Home.
Yes, great
And
song.
I did not see enough like Ozzy, Mama, I'm Coming Home. Like I thought I was going to see that everywhere
It's
on the
funny you should
internet.
say that because when my friend texted me last night or 2 nights ago when it happened, he sent me a gif of Ozzy and it was said, "Mama, I'm coming home."
Mama, I'm coming home.
So
Mama, I'm coming home.
yeah,
Times have changed and times have changed. Listen, man, Ozzy was such a part of when I was a kid. Did you not write Ozzy on your knuckles
I
when you
never
were a
did
kid?
because I got into Ozzy later, like when I got
Okay,
older. It
I
wasn't when
did.
I was in school. It was more like when I was 19, 20 till I really got into it.
I got into Black Sabbath when I was that age, when I was in college. I never listened to Black Sabbath,
Yep.
but Ozzy as a cultural icon
Yeah.
of a bat eating. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Just like
blood dripping out of his mouth.
Madman
Yeah, yeah.
was something that I loved when I was I did that all the time. I'd write Ozzy on my knuckles, and my mom would be like, "What did you do?" And I'd be like, "Ozzy,"
Of course. I'm sure
you
she's so
know?
proud, so proud.
Yeah, I love that shit. But then, of course, to talk music wise, those first Black Sabbath albums, like maybe the first, what, five of them, are great, man. I mean, that is foundational music. He became this guy for the reality show and
Yeah.
Ozzy and kind of a joke. But musically speaking, if you put on any of those, I mean, just any of those songs blows you away. And
Hmm.
that is fucking hard rock, heavy metal,
Yeah.
awesome shit.
Yeah.
That's all
You're
I have to
right.
say. It's not a joke. I think a lot of kids see Ozzy and I mean, kids today, what do they know? They see him on TV, right? But they should go
They
back and listen to an album.
Well, when my wife brought it up the other day, or when it happened, and Luke was like, "Who's Ozzy Osbourne?" and I had to say he sings "I'm Iron Man."
Yeah,
That's how most
there
kids
you
know him, I
go.
think, is Iron Man.
Yep. Oh man, so many great songs. Because that was something of a discovery for me in college because I did think Ozzy was kind of a joke. Like I wasn't writing Ozzy on my knuckles because I loved War Pigs. I didn't
Yeah,
even listen to that shit. I was listening to like Barry Manilow and Michael Jackson, and you know what I'm talking about, dude? I was like
180 degrees different than
fucking
Ozzy.
Barbara
Yeah,
Streisand, you know? The Bee Gees. Oh. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was listening to. I was a kid.
you're jamming to Rod Stewart with Ozzy
Yeah,
written on
come
your.
on, man. You know, Born in the USA or something. Thriller. Uh, you can dance if you want to. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
It was those
yeah.
days. But then when I got to college, and I think really my friend Lou, his cousin died and is an old story and left him all his albums. They
Oh,
gave him
yeah.
all his vinyl, and he had um, I don't know. I can't remember what album it was. Maybe the first Black Sabbath album, and put it on, and we listened to it all the way through. And of course, we were tremendously stoned. And I was like, "Holy shit!" And I remember even saying to him, "Like, dude, thank you. Like, I really did not realize
Yeah.
how awesome Black Sabbath was."
I think a lot of my stuff with him, well, with Ozzy and Black Sabbath both, is I knew their stuff without knowing it was them for a long time. Like
Ah, there you
I
go.
knew the
Yeah,
songs and that
yeah.
because they were big around here. I had a lot of people that I like was in high school with and I wasn't necessarily friends with would listen to it all the time. So I'd hear it on the bus, or I'd hear it on the radio, all that stuff. So I knew the songs, just didn't know. I didn't really care that because like I was listening to other stuff too, and it was later when I discovered, oh, this is
That's
all the same
That's
stuff.
interesting. Yeah, see,
Hmm.
for me, Ando, a lot of my musical taste came from my cousin Chris and my older brother. And but my older brother was a little bit more into the poppy side of things, but he was into a lot of English and like Englishy kind of
Hmm.
pre-Brit pop stuff. So I
Yep.
think that was kind of my introduction to that kind of music.
Like
And my
Depeche
cousin
Mode, that kind of
Chris,
stuff.
um, more even like more esoteric, like Prefab Sprout and
Oh,
Deacon
okay.
Blue and like
Yeah.
all these weird Englishy bands. My brother
Yep.
like Hot House Flowers,
Oh yeah. God, I haven't
um,
thought of that name in 30
stuff like
years.
that, right?
Yeah.
Like he liked that kind of stuff. Squeeze
Oh
and like
yeah.
all you're right, like Crowded
Hmm.
House.
Yep.
He loved that kind of stuff, right? So I that was introduction to me, kind of that kind of stuff. But then my cousin Chris would like sit me down in like this tiny room, like a big of my office with four speakers that he had set up and make me listen to the entirety of The Wall when I was like 10.
You were that guy in that, what was it, a Maxell ad with the guy sitting in
Yes.
the with the big giant speakers blasting
Let me
at
tell
you?
you something, Andy. Every time I see that, I think of my cousin's, my Aunt Virginia's house because they had like a center room where the living room was, and their bedrooms were all right off. Well, two of
Oh,
them,
okay.
Pierre and
Yeah.
Chris's rooms, and Brian too, were right off the thing. And they had this, and he sat me down and he would play all that stuff. And he would play like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, fucking Cream,
Yeah.
like
The
all the
the
60s, more.
foundational hard
Yeah,
rock stuff. Yeah.
yeah, but he had more of a bluesy Hendrix. Like he liked, I think, more of the bluesy stuff. And
Yep.
even though Sabbath does definitely have the blues and is blues inspired, it is like heavy metal.
Yeah.
Maybe my Aunt Virginia didn't want him to. I'm sure he loved Sabbath.
Yeah.
Maybe she just was a little too much for the young kid. But The Wall, that happened to me. The first time I re-listened to The Wall, I had a complete flashback to being in that room and listen and him being like, "You
Oh,
have to hear this,"
of
you
course.
know? Because
Yeah.
I always remember little things like the way the English telephone sounds on the wall when it's like, like it's a
Yep.
different sound than the American
For sure.
phone,
Yeah.
like when the phone's ringing
Yep.
and all that kind of stuff. Oh wow, that brings me back, man. That was a flashback right there, and
Yeah. Yeah.
but Ozzy can never like to me. That's really though I did watch all of the Osbournes too. I did like the reality show. I'll have to admit it.
I did watch like the first season or so, and after that, I'm
Oh
like, okay, I've seen enough.
yeah, I kept on till the very dark end. That strange family. I mean, for all that Ozzy has given us, he did give us Sharon Osbourne. So there's a give and take, and his children. There's a give and take in everything in this world. And sometimes a great artist can give you something amazing, but also just take away
Something
brain
horrific.
cells.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
take
nobody's
your brain
perfect.
cells away. Yeah. So R.I.P. Ozzy. That's
Yeah.
our. That's how long have we been going? Oh gosh, we've been going for like an hour and a half. And all right,
Yeah, I should probably get out of here because the
let's
boys are
do it.
back from swimming lessons, and I think I need
Yep.
to go lay
Oh
down the law.
shit. Yeah, it's already 2 o'clock. All right, I gotta go eat. This has been so fun.
Yes.
Whoever, if you watched us on YouTube, thank you, Grandpa. We love you, of course. You're the best. And DVR podcast, become a patron, patreon.com/DVR. I think I think I am going to release this one wide, not just a Patreon. I think we'll go
Hmm.
wide with this one, Ando.
Yeah.
We'll be back soon with a preview for Alien Earth.
There will be a
And
special live film list tomorrow night on YouTube.
nice, that's what I was waiting for. Yeah, I'm going to be available for that too because we're going to be live on the YouTubes. I'll be listening. All right, everybody. Thank you, Andy. Thanks for listening. And I'll just end this whole thing right now.
That sounds good. We'll talk to you later.